Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So, if you are watching this on Saturday, the day that this is going live, you might be surprised to see this Mixed Media Emporium video today. That's because Nina and I are trialling putting it up on a Saturday at 6 p.m. UK time rather than a Sunday morning at 8 a.m. UK time. And that's because a few people have said they would like a bit more time to work on the prompts and the challenges we set. So we're just doing a little trial just now to see how it goes. So certainly for the next few weeks you will probably see the video on a Saturday rather than a Sunday, and then we'll review things. So I had hoped to do a few projects during this past week with my painted masterboards. Unfortunately, it was just one of those weeks where time seemed to run away and I didn't get them done, but I will be revisiting the masterboard, the painted masterboard project prompts at some point. This week, the challenge for this week is paper masterboards. So great way to use your scraps, to use any pattern papers you have, and I'll go through what I've kind of got here on my desk. I know a few of you are champing at the bit to get on with this, you know, you're really keen to do that. Again, in the group, we're only looking to see your masterboards this week. We're not looking to see the projects that you make with your collaged paper masterboards. Now, if you're a fibre artist and you want to work with fabric on a masterboard, that's fine. Otherwise, we're sticking just to paper. It could be painted papers that you have left over, that's fine. And you can do a bit of stamping if you want to. So just trying to keep the challenge reasonably tight. So I'm going to make a couple. The other thing is, it doesn't have to be a masterboard. You could do it as a background, for example, in your journal. And I'll do a quick page in here as well. So whatever you have, it doesn't need to be fancy papers. You know, if you have vintage papers and you want to use those, fine. But just, you know, think creatively. So even old paper bags, you know, this is a produce bag from a supermarket. I have tons of scrap papers. I just stick them. Some of these are old jelly prints. Some of these going back to the first video I ever did on gel plate printing. Pages that I've doodled on, some old book pages, old maps, tissue paper that came from Love Me Blue, little scrap bits of paper. You see I've stamped on some of them, I can use that. Again, little pieces of collage that I've obviously been thinking about at some point. I do try and organise these every so often, don't get terribly far. Old bits of kind of ephemera of some description, bingo tickets, lots and lots of different pieces, dictionary pages, and I always keep all my drop sheets, so I've got all that kind of thing as well. You know, these will just sit on my table here, and I never throw them away because I always eventually find a use for them. Although I think I've got enough here to do several lifetimes, but never mind. If you want to see a little funny video, well, I think it's quite funny, I'll attach it above and at the end, and I think it was called something like What's Underneath the Craft Mat. It's only 2 minutes long, so check that out. So in terms of substrates, as I say, I will do a page in the journal. I also, when I was going through this stuff, came across these sheets of paper. Now these feel like quite heavy-duty watercolour paper. I'm just going to use them because it's what came to hand. But you know, you could take one of these drop sheets, for example, and just start collaging on that. Anything of that sort. I'm going to use these. These are A4 size, so standard letter size. I'm going to do a couple. One I'm going to do just using old kind of book pages, dictionary pages. The other I'm going to do using some of the kind of painted pages. And the book might just be, the journal might just be a mixture of both. So I'm going to use matte medium to glue down. You could use a glue stick. Use whatever you have. If you don't have a lot of stuff like this, flyers, junk mail, old envelopes, I've got a ton of them in here as well, anything like that. Don't know if you can hear the wind outside and the rain blowing again. I think since the last time we've had lots of snow, it's cleared, but we're now back to rain, so you maybe hear that in the background. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on at speed, and I'm just going to put a bit of music on in the background, and I'll come back to you on the other side. Hope you enjoy. Well, that was a lot of fun. So this one was simply old book pages and some map pages. Now, some of the book pages were quite white, quite stark, so all I did was to take some vintage sepia VersaFine ink, and I just took the colour over that, and it's just given it a slightly more aged look to it, kind of unified it a little bit, and I'm happy with that. There's more I could have done, but saving that for another time. So that's version 1. Version 2, I was just taking bits and pieces of old papers. Some were gel prints from a long time ago, monoprints. Some were from some of the projects we did last year on dendritics and that type of thing. This one I'm leaving as is. I'm not going to do anything with this at the moment. Depending on what I do next with it, I will unify it in some way, the different collage pieces. But for the moment, I'm quite happy just to leave this way. And then I came to my journal, and it was interesting because when I started to work my journal, I was doing these quite quickly, not thinking too much about it. And in some instances with the journal, that was the same, but I was working less quickly. It was almost as if when I came to my journal, I started to just slow down, and it's not so much that I was composing a page or anything, but just thinking perhaps a little bit more about it, but in a kind of intuitive way. So this is actually a piece of, it's like a kind of waxed tissue that's wrapped around a brand of whiskey. I use that a lot because it's got the nice text in the background, some old gel prints. There was already a piece of book page on that from when I put the signatures together. And as I was working, I kind of saw little bits that I thought, oh, I want to add those in. I had a piece of paper under there just to stop these pages sticking together. And these are old, where I've stamped off, I've been stamping something and I've just used up the ink on a piece of paper. So I've incorporated them. Now, they look a little bit stark just now in terms of being on a white background and standing out. But of course, that's the point. It is just a background. And when I come to work on this page, I've got a page sitting there ready to start work on. A lot of this might go. The whole thing might be covered up. But it just gives me something there to work on. And I just wanted to quickly show you something. I always end up with lots of little bits. This is a little moleskine. I started this, a few years ago, just as a mini art journal. All I do with this now is I will sit and glue in little bits of paper. Just sometimes a couple of pieces on a page. And, if I'm at a loss for things to do, or want to do something but can't think what, I'll just kind of sit and stick these in. And at some point, I might develop these pages further. I might not. It's a way of using up those tiny little scraps. And, as I say, if I wanted to, I could just sit after this session gluing in those little bits, or I could come in here and actually start to create this into a page. So just letting you know what I do with all those little bits. Other times I might simply go in here and stick more down. So I hope that's given you some ideas for collaged masterboards. As I say, this week we're just talking using paper, whether it's painted paper, book pages, any vintage items. You've seen what I've used. Nina will have some other ideas for you, so do check out her video, which is linked below. And of course, I'll also put a link to the Mixed Media Emporium below. So hope you'll join us again next time. And let us know what you think about the video going up at this slightly earlier time of 6 p.m. on a Saturday rather than 8 a.m. on a Sunday. It maybe doesn't make any difference to you, but, if it does, let us know. Oh, one thing I was going to show, I got very close with the heat tool and the paint started to bubble. This was a piece that I used last week, the piece of deli paper I was using, and I liked the effect that was creating. So I just did it on all those little bits of gold there, just created a bit of texture. Right, If you liked this, please do give me the thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like this, and it also lets me know that you like it. So leave a comment. As I say, I always try and answer every comment. So, I love hearing from you. So take care, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.